Joey Rocha is a Hawaii-based flat earther. You might remember him from this video.
Every single topic that I bring up, they're violating the laws of physics, and Occam's razor is pleased with the flat earth example.
Well, if you actually understood these laws and maybe the model you're arguing against, then maybe you'd have a point, sir.
Let's move on to tectonic plates.
Tectonic plates hoax.
Well, today he is back and will be getting some help again, this time from Fight the Flat Earth. But what has Mr. Joey been saying now? Well, apparently all globe believers are in an intellectual coma. Hello all and welcome to another episode of Flat Earth Friday with me, Simon Dan. Thank you very much for joining me. Before we begin today, last week saw the start of the Globe Lie European Tour. This is basically a bunch of Flat Earth YouTubers from the UK travelling around Europe for a couple of months in a clapped out old camper van, trying to talk to the general public about Flat Earth in an attempt to make them woke. Just to point out the calibre of logic and intellect we're dealing with here, this was lifted from their own website. The Globe Tour, hey? Dear oh dear. And for some reason, they seem to think that Belfast is in England. Very odd. Anyway, I'm going to be doing everything in my power from right here to try and nullify their efforts. Every week we'll have a short update on their progress, and every video from now on will have Globe Lie Tour tags so that hopefully people find me before they find them on YouTube. Actually, if you want to help out with this one and participate in an unprecedented global debunking like never before, and you live in Europe and you've got some spare time on your hands, then email me, simondan@gmail.com for more details. Right, back to Mr. Joey, and if you remember, he feels like all of us Globe subscribers, so 99.99% of the population of Earth, are in an intellectual coma. Let's find out his reasoning for this one, shall we?
Aloha everybody, thank you for joining me, your host, Joey Rocha, for another episode of Flat Earth Live. In today's show, I'm going to be pointing out some obvious facts about the globe that prove it to be a lie and a hoax. And I'm going to go over some obvious facts to prove that the Earth is flat and motionless.
Obvious facts, hey? Let's see how obvious they are.
So in this short show today, it's only going to be about 20 minutes, I'm going to briefly and thoroughly go over how the Earth isn't a spinning globe and how it is a flat, motionless plane, proven by science and proven by the laws of physics. Sound fair enough?
Yeah, that sounds fine, but you didn't do great when it came to the laws of physics last time, did you?
Well, you cannot get a tan or vitamin D from a barn fire. I mean, if you doubt me, you'd be doubting the laws of physics and peer-reviewed science. So I feel very safe presenting this information today. Let's get started.
Alrighty, here we go.
Is the Earth a globe that's spinning around at over 1,000 miles per hour? Or is the Earth flat and motionless, as our ancient ancestors said? Let's just evaluate the two.
Well, for starters, not all of our ancestors actually believed that, but yes, let's evaluate the two models. Please go ahead.
First of all, what do we need to do to decide if the Earth is a globe spinning or if the Earth is flat and motionless?
Engage our brain? That would be a start.
What we need to do is we need to A, first take care of the flat or spherical part, and then B, take care of the, is it in motion over 1,000 miles per hour, or is it motionless? So let's go with A. Is the Earth flat or is the Earth a ball 25,000 miles in circumference? Topographical measurements will answer this question for us. So you take measurements of large pieces of land, as much land as possible. You take those measurements and then you can decide based on topographical measurements what shape the Earth is that we live on.
I'm not sure how topography helps us with that, but okay, let's continue.
And it turns out all topographical measurements of states, when measured, Kansas, Florida, and 13 other states in the US alone, All other countries have measured different places in their areas, and all have come to the same conclusion. Perfectly level.
Have they? Here is a topographic map of the UK. Why don't you tell the people of Wales that the land is level? Oh, and to add to that, level doesn't necessarily mean flat.
Yes, there's mountains and valleys. Similarly, a piece of paper. We all know that a piece of paper is flat and level. However, when one looks at a piece of paper underneath an electron microscope, you can see rivets and valleys.
Here is a picture of some paper underneath an electron microscope, by the way.
So when we exclaim that the Earth is flat, proven by science, we mean that it's level from point A to point B. Yes, there's valleys and craters and mountains and hills, but over the spectrum, believe it or not, topographical measurements show that the Earth is flat.
Oh, I see. So I think you're using the same argument as Adam I Phi was here.
Elevation is, I go up 16,322 feet. I come down 16,312 feet. Wow. Difference of 10 feet. 10 feet of difference.
In which case you're talking about elevation. Elevation has got nothing to do with curve.
Now, how does this prove that the Earth isn't a sphere? Well, pretty simply, because you do deductive logic. By applying deductive logic, we can figure out the problem, solution, and answer to our first part, part A. Is the Earth spherical, 25,000 miles in circumference, or is the Earth flat? What you do is, since all land measurements and all bodies of water that are measured are completely level. Joey Silv, thank you so much for joining, Joey Silv. Share this on Facebook for me, Joey Silv. I'm banned right now.
I wonder why.
So, since all measurements of Earth are completely flat, I'll explain to you why this debunks the Earth being a sphere 25,000 miles in circumference. If the Earth was a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, as NASA and the heliocentric theory claim, then there would be a measurable and detectable curvature that one would witness.
Mr. Yodeler.
So there's a formula for a ball 25,000 miles in circumference. There's a formula. If you plug in spherical trigonometry, it's 8 inches per mile squared. And in layman terms, it basically goes like this. If we're on a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, at some point, objects that are in the distance will disappear due to Earth's curvature, right?
Exactly. You mean like this? Or what about this? Then there's also this.
Well, it turns out if you plug in the formula 8 inches per mile squared, which is the spherical trigonometry formula for the Earth at 25,000 miles in circumference, you will see that objects and land masses that we can see clearly 40 to 50 miles away plus should not be visible due to Earth's curvature. You've never thought of that before, but plug in the formula. I live in Hawaii. We can all see islands, chain of islands. We can see them from seashore to seashore, and some of them are 50 to 70 miles away.
He lives in Hawaii, yet doesn't realise that the furthest island you could potentially see is actually only 45 miles away. But I couldn't find any photos of Kealawi from the Hawaiian shore. However, Mr. Joey could live on the Honolulu Island, where Kauai is over 70 miles away, but again, no photo from sea level.
By all means and intensive purposes, these islands that are visible from seashore to seashore, it means from level to level, from the same point, should not be visible from seashore to seashore, but they are.
I don't doubt that, but I think someone's exaggerating the distances involved, aren't they?
Due to spherical trigonometry, because look, on a ball, every angle of incidence on a 360-degree circle is falling beneath you. So if you did a turn, everywhere that you did a circle on should be dropping at a measurable and detectable rate. So you take this information and you apply it, and you must be intellectually honest and say, look, you're right. Topographically, the measurements show that it's flat.
That's it. That's your reasoning. Horrendous.
Not spherical. Now let's go to the motionless part B of this program. Is the Earth spinning at over 1,000 miles per hour, as NASA claims?
Okay, for this part, I'm going to get the assistance of Fight the Flat Earth. Let me just...
Hello.
Hey there, Fight the Flat Earth.
Hello, who's there?
What software are you using to answer this call, mate?
Sam and Dan, is that you?
It sure bloody hell is me. What's all this?
Well, what's all of what?
Where'd you get a cool system like that?
Oh, this. Oh, well, NASA installed a holographic generator. It looks good, doesn't it? They call it the No Hollow 9000.
Hang on. NASA?
Yeah.
NASA's holographic generator?
Yeah.
NASA came over and installed a holographic generator?
Now you're just repeating stuff that I've already said.
The NASA?
Now this is getting weird.
Nice average system adaptations?
National Aeronautics and Space Administration. The NASA. Yes.
Unbelievable. I'm going to talk to Adrian about this.
Hello.
Yeah, hi.
Is this the delivery man?
What?
I ordered a pizza, but couldn't give you the address, because then I'd have to kill you.
No, this is Simon Dan.
They sent you to bring my pizza. Those clever bastards.
No, listen, I've just spoken to FTFE.
Fluffy, the Freedom Eagle.
Fight the Flat Earth.
Oh, him. Nice guy. Excellent taste in eyewear.
Look, how come I don't have one of those fancy holographic generator things?
What do you mean?
Do you know who I am?
Not my delivery man.
I'm Simon Dan. I've got 200,000 subscribers.
Congratulations.
Thank you. And Fight the Flat Earth has only, what, 16,000?
So what's the problem?
It's not fair.
Life is like a box of chocolates. If you leave it outside on a sunny day, it becomes icky.
Hey guys, I'm FTFE from the channel that takes stupidity on a long drive into the countryside and comes back alone, in a different car, wearing different clothes so there isn't any forensic evidence. Thanks to Simon and Dan for having me on, so let's have a look at what Joey has to say.
So first, let's evaluate the globe. They say that the Earth is a ball 25,000 miles in circumference, rotating at a little over 1,000 miles per hour, which is faster than the speed of sound, much faster, a couple hundred miles faster than the speed of sound.
Come on, Joey, you've just shown straight away that you've no idea what you're talking about, and you don't even know the difference between rotation and angular velocity. Two things. First of all, the Earth is rotating at 0.000694 RPM. That's half the speed of an hour hand on a clock. If you go to the North Pole and stand still, you would do 360 degrees in about 24 hours. Secondly, the speed of sound is relative to a medium. At the equator, the Earth's angular velocity is approximately 1,000 miles an hour. But what's the medium that's moving in? Because remember, the atmosphere rotates with the Earth. The medium it's moving in is space, where the speed of sound is 0.
Is there any proof of this? Is there any scientific tests that have been conducted that prove this? No.
Science doesn't prove things. It never said it does. It gives us the best current understanding of the world around us based on evidence. So if you're asking me if there is any evidence for the Earth's rotation, then yes. Yes, there is.
If the Earth is spinning at one rotation every 24 hours, that means that every hour it has to turn 15 degrees. And if the gyroscope is mounted anywhere on Earth, it's going to drift. In today's 21st century navigation systems, they're using what's called a ring laser gyroscope. It is extremely precise. If we could simply get one of these ring laser gyroscopes, we would be able to prove once and for all that there is no rotation to the Earth. One of the people in the community actually purchased one for $20,000. But what we found is when we turned on that gyroscope, we found that we were picking up a drift, a 15 degree per hour drift.
Thank you, Bob, for making my job so much easier. So what Bob used is called an interferometric fibre optic gyroscope, which uses the fact that c, the speed of light, is the same for all inertial frames of reference to measure rotation. Have a look at this animation. It shows roughly how a fibre optic gyro works. Light is split into two paths, with one going clockwise and one going anti-clockwise. If there is no movement, then both paths of light take the same amount of time. But if there is rotation, it makes the path light has to travel shorter for one of the beams, meaning the light recombines slightly out of phase, and this is measured as an interference pattern. This is called the Stachniak Effect, and is so precise not only do modern aircraft have 3 fibre optic gyros on board to measure yaw, pitch and roll, but it can actually measure the rotation of the Earth at, oh, Bob, how much was that again?
A 15 degree per hour drift.
But they tried to. That's right. But when they tried to see how fast the Earth was rotating, they found out through their interferometer experiments, which are very sensitive motion detection machines, very, very sensitive. As a matter of fact, they're more sensitive than seismographic machines. Every single test that was ever conducted with interferometers to detect the motion of the Earth came up with null and void results. That means the Earth wasn't detected at moving 1,000 plus miles per hour, not even 500 miles per hour, not even 5 inches per hour. Zero motion detected whatsoever.
Well, Joey, that's just plainly false information. We don't have to rely on old Bob's supernoodle doodle. We can take a trip back in time to the Michelson-Gale-Pearson experiment in 1925, which used a modified version of the Michelson-Morley interferometer to measure the Stachniak effect of Earth's rotation. The experiment confirmed the angular velocity of Earth as measured by astronomy.
That's an interferometer test. That's called science, peer-reviewed science. So science proves that the Earth is flat, and science proves that the Earth is motionless.
It does neither. Science presents us with evidence that the Earth is moving. What I've never seen is evidence that says the opposite. I'm guessing that's because the evidence doesn't actually exist.
You can do a mental thought experiment. Imagine a helicopter hovering above your head for 12 hours. By proxy of Earth's 1,000 mile plus rotation per hour, by the time this helicopter hovering above your head landed back down, it should land on the other side of Earth, in China, for example, but it does not.
Oh, come on, really? Joey, I've already explained that the atmosphere is rotating with the Earth, and considering that a helicopter uses the atmosphere to create lift, it would rotate at the same rate as the Earth.
Why? Because the Earth is not in motion. By the way, my name is Joey Rocha. I welcome anybody to debate me anytime. I challenge you to debate me only using laws of physics, peer-reviewed science, and mathematics. No ad hominem comments allowed, no straw man tactics allowed, and no appeal to authority. Other than that, I will debate you.
Well, anyone who is subscribed to me already knows that I'm always up for a debate. So how about it, Joey? You and I challenge you to a debate on Simon Dan's channel. Bring it.
I've been debating people for the last 3.5 to 4 years successfully. Never lost a debate yet. Why? Because the truth fears not investigation.
The thing is, I know I'd crush you in debate, and I can bet you've been beaten many times by other people. But like all flirts, you will run away and claim victory. Well, if you debate me, I promise to leave no room for interpretation of the result. You will know that you've lost.
Joey Silv says, damn right. Hey, Joey Silv, for real, I'm blocked on Facebook right now, and that's my main avenue. So do me a favor, brother, right now. Share this in like 2 or 3 or 4 truth groups, and do me a big favor, and let's get this message out. I know there's a lot of flat earthers out there already, But the reason why I like people to share my videos is because there's still a lot of people who don't know about the flat Earth and who don't know about the proofs. It's real simple to prove the Earth is flat. I just did it in 10 minutes.
Did you? When? Because I must have missed that. And it's funny how you call these Facebook echo chambers truth groups, because they all ban anyone who challenges the flat Earth, so that they can sit in their own little safe space, patting each other on the back and reinforcing their own moronic beliefs.
It's not some long lecture that you need a whole weekend or a whole few months to understand. It's simple. The horizon is flat, and it shouldn't be. The horizon represents Earth. Earth is supposedly curved. If Earth is curved and you stick a level next to the horizon, at some point you emphatically must see deviation of curvature, but we do not witness this, proving the Earth, again, is flat.
Another plainly false bit of info. The horizon is supposed to be flat because it's a circle 360 degrees around you. A circle is a 2D shape, and 2D shapes are flat. To see this left to right curve that you seem to expect, we would have to be living on a cylinder.
There's so many motionless Earth proofs, and there's so many flat Earth proofs, and there's zero proofs that prove the Earth, that show that the Earth is in motion, and there's zero proofs that show topographically that the Earth is a sphere or that it curves whatsoever.
But the opposite is actually true. There isn't any evidence for the Earth being a magic space pizza at all. All of the evidence points to Earth being a globe. But that cognitive dissonance and confirmation bias is really hard to overcome, huh?
So we must realize all of our ancestors were right. They all said that the Earth is flat and motionless. None of them said that we were a planet.
Again, just wrong. 2,500 years ago, Eratosthenes figured out that the Earth was a globe. But there's also the fact that our ancestors didn't have the modern measuring capabilities that we do now. And when we measure nowadays, we find a curve. Alright, that's enough of me, but if you'd like to see more, then I'm sure Simon Dan will be nice enough to put a link to my channel in the description, and maybe even a card for you guys to click on. Right, let's hand this over to Simon Dan. Hey, how you doing, buddy?
And that's why I need all the cool stuff, because I am cool. I've got a cool tattoo of all the scientists and everything.
Do you have Newton?
Yeah,
Einstein?
course.
Pikachu?
That's not a scientist.
Collect them all. Do you also have Da Vinci?
Haven't got into him yet.
Italian scientists are the best. They invented pizza.
Right, about that. Did you have your pizza yet? Teleporter working? I could use a slice or two.
The pizza was a decoy. I'm annihilating it as we speak.
Ah, sorry to hear.
Hello? Hey, hello guys.
Right. Fight the Flat Earth. Sorry about earlier. Got everything figured out now, it's all good.
Wait, isn't that the agent that installed the holographic generator in my hand at night?
I have no idea what you're talking about, Mr. Floofy.
What?
Right, that brings this episode to a lovely close. Thank you again, Fight the Flat Earth, for helping out. If you enjoyed it today, then please do like and subscribe, and check out Fight the Flat Earth, links in the description. Once again, if you're interested in taking part in the mass global debunking, then please do email me. I've been Simon Dan. Have yourselves a great weekend, and I'll see you all on Tuesday, where Flat Earth Focker is on Tinfoil Tuesday. Okay, see you then.